Yes, what's happening, people? Big up to every single one of you. 12th man's back. Arsenal roundabout is back off the back of a win last night against PSG. 2-0, very convincing, done by half time. And this time at 2-0, we didn't throw it away, or at least tried to throw it away like we did against Leicester. To talk to me about everything that's going on at the moment in the world of Arsenal is, of course, Igal back from Miguel Talks Football. Make sure you are subscribed. If you're not already, make sure you are also subscribed to Forder on Football. Alex is back in the house. Kenny Ken is here. Make sure you're following Kenny Ken on Instagram, and also make sure, if you're not already, that you are following Northside on Northside LDN. Big up to the raid. Northside, been too long, my bro. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to see you, man. Glad to see you. Big up for the raid, man. And I'm going to start with you, bro, because, I've spoken to these guys before you. It's been too long. I've missed talking to my bro. And I must say, last night was fairly convincing. I wanted to get your thoughts on it, and in particular, Kai Havertz, because last night, I've got to say, I thought he was really good. It's about time I gave him some praise and some props, because I'm not always the one to do that. Certainly not when he's playing in midfield, but I must say, last night, I thought he was really good, man. What did you make of that performance, my bro?
That performance yesterday was absolutely rubbish. No, I'm joking. You know what I mean? They were about to, no, sorry, you're very negative. You know what I mean? No, it was a good performance, man. It was a good performance. It was nice, man. Went into half time. I was feeling like, I'm gonna have a good match reaction. Like, this is actually going good. Like, we're playing well. We defended well. We was attacking really well. I do think the tempo in the first half was a lot better than the second half. I think the second half was more of a professional performance. I do think we could have maybe upped the tempo a little bit and hit them on the counter with a, similar to the way that we was hitting them and attacking them in the first half, because sometimes we was inviting a little bit of pressure. To be fair, we only stopped them to shots outside the box. But ultimately, I think it was a good performance. Kai Havertz yesterday, he was better than Saka. And I rate Saka and I don't rate Havertz. But I think Kai Havertz was up there to be man of the match alongside Trossard. Some people said Trossard in my chat, and I said I can't really argue. It's between either one of them. And I'm not a big fan of Kai Havertz, but he took his goal really, really well, and he actually played well. He actually played well the whole game. Really, really played well. I can't deny that he played well. Trossard as well did really well. His cross as well into Havertz for the goal. Played really well. Saka, other than the goal, I didn't think Saka was that great. I think Martinelli was wasteful again. I think Partey was decent. I think this is so far Partey's best performance of the season. Declan Rice did well. He played well. Saliba, Gabriel as well did really, really well. Defensively, just solid. Timber really had a really good game. It was sad to see Timber come off because I wanted to see him for the second half. I think he was having a great game. Now, the person that didn't have a great game for me was Calafiori. And I've been pointing out the fact that defensively, this guy is not it from what I've seen. Now, he can have till the end of the season, but I don't like the way he's defending. I don't like the way he's roaming around the pitch like he's Zinchenko. It's giving me PTSD. I don't like the fact that on the half turn, he's too slow. I don't like even getting back into position. Way too slow for me. And I seen this guy get cooked by Savio in the first half against Man City. I seen this guy get cooked a couple of times. Not only that, positionally, his awareness as well, defensively. Let's not forget that goal from Leicester. He didn't even know the attacker was there. He didn't even see him. Now, some people will say, "Oh, but let him get used to the prem." Okay, but there's certain things as a footballer you have. You may not be completely up to speed, but you can still read the game. You can still look around and be aware. You can still pick up your man. You can still positionally be in the right place. So I'm not. He's one of them that I'd said, nah. Calafiori didn't have a great game defensively, and I'm not convinced so far. But I was wrong on Ben White. I hope to be wrong on Calafiori, but so far defensively, he's given me Zinchenko vibes. You know what I mean? And I said it yesterday in my reaction. Right now, the way he's defending, the way Calafiori is defending, not the way he's attacking, the way he's defending, he looks like Sendros with a wig. So he needs to fix up. He needs to fix up.
Man, this is what I've missed Northside, man. Look, I'm actually a fan of Calafiori. I think on the ball, he's definitely better. His defending. At times, I can see where you're at because I believe that he has been allowed to free roam. But let me bring Igal in on that point, man. What are you saying, bro?
First of all, I just want to say, hope everyone's doing well. Happy days. After Martin Odegaard got injured, there was emergency streams. Northside was losing his shit. Everyone was losing their shit, and they thought it was going to all go down the drain. People were saying RIP our season, wrap it up. The summer transfer window was a mess. What did we do? We went away to Tottenham, victory. We went away to City, draw. Went away to Atlanta, draw. Still undefeated, by the way. Then our creativity was the problem. No Odegaard, no creativity. What are we doing? We have our best creative performance in our club, not in our club's history. Under Mikel Arteta's, we had our best performance creating from open play against Leicester. We absolutely bodied them. We should have scored 7 against them. And then we go away. We stay at home versus PSG, and we take on a European elite, and we show them who's boss. We are literally top 5 in the world. And I think everyone at times forgets how good we are. When we go up against guys like PSG, you see the levels compared to what we are. When we go away to Inter, we're going to see how we can stack up against a top team there, because they're another top 5 team in the world right now. You got Real Madrid. Unfortunately, we're not going to play them. We're not going to play the Bayern Munichs right now. But in the group stages, this is where we see how we go up against the rest of the best in the world. And talking about Calafiori's defensive performance, why don't we talk about Timber's defensive performance? Man put Barcola in a spliff and told him, get out of here. That guy was supposed to be their most threatening player. And Ken, you got to witness Timber's masterclass in 45 minutes before he got subbed off. We're saving him for the weekend. Hopefully he shuts down Southampton's attack also. I'm expecting like 7 goals for Southampton. I'm excited, guys. This team is looking really good. And hopefully you guys enjoy hopefully we get to enjoy more of it. And Trossard deserves a lot of plaudits. Everyone talks about Saka. Everyone talks about Havertz. Trossard is the guy who deserves a lot of plaudits, because since Odegaard got injured, he's picked up the mantle and he's done a lot. But yeah, anyways, before people call me delusional, I'm going to pass the mic off.
I love it, man. Listen, Kenny, what's your thoughts on Calafiori and what Northside said? Because I agree a lot with what Gal said about Timber. I thought he was immense. Thought Partey had a brilliant first half, really good for most of the game. I also thought Trossard, for me, Havertz was man of the match, but I can understand why people are giving props to Trossard, who I think has been phenomenal for the last few games, other than his sending off incident at Man City, of course. But what do you make of Calafiori, bro? Because, I mean, there's a lot of mixed opinions from not just Northside, but others. I've quite liked what I've seen. Other people are not too sure on him, man. So what are you telling me?
Well, Calafiori's future isn't left back. He's just covering the position until we get someone better. That's just factual. That's factual. Because Calafiori's future, I'm sorry to say this, I don't care what people think about what my opinions anyway, because I'm going to say them anyway. Calafiori's future is a position alongside Saliba. I'll tell you why. Mikel Arteta is a mixture of 2 people. He's a mixture of George Graham and Mourinho in terms of us off the ball, where everyone has to make sacrifices. Everyone has to be defensively stingy. On the ball, Gabriel Magalhaes is actually brilliant. I love that man. I love how he's good in both boxes, particularly in the attack. I love how he wins all his duels. But there was instances yesterday when he was on the ball that I thought the Mikel that wants to resemble Pep Guardiola, I'm not sure the Mikel that wants to moving forward is going to think, right, on the ball, he's not the best. And I do think that as much, I 100% agree with about Northside said about Calafiori yesterday. Got ruined by Hakimi a couple of times. Let's not forget, I think Martinelli struggled with Hakimi. Hakimi's just, I don't know. He must be on a.
He's so pacey, man.
I don't know. He must have a motorbike inside his body, because I've never seen someone that quick. The last player that with that much pace was Dennis Rommedahl, a Danish player about a few years back who had similar pace. I mean, bloody hell. But in terms of like Calafiori, on the ball, I like him, and that's why I do have slight concerns about the position, because you don't aggressively go for a player that much if you're not going to use him in some capacity. Everyone thinks that he's a left back. He's not. He's a centre half. Everyone thought Timber is a left back. He's not. He's a right-sided centre half, right back. I remember having a discussion with Gal when I said to Gal that I do think that moving forward, Timber will eventually be the replacement of Benjamin White in terms of not just pushing for his place, eventually taking over because of the attributes he can give that Benjamin White couldn't give. And so far, obviously, you're going to say that Benjamin White's injured, but I do think moving forward, I'm now comparing them, and I think the manager is going to go for Timber. I do think that his manager moving forward is going to look at Calafiori and think, right, on the ball, because I'm only thinking from a footballing point of view. It's not personal against Gabriel. I love the man, but from a footballing point of view, where I do think there's two Mikels, there's a Pep Mikel, and the Pep Mikel, if you look at how Man City are with all their defenders, not only can they defend, but they're on the ball. And I do think that in Europe, if we want to be a team that can do well in Europe, as well as the league, I think that's going to be where I do think eventually Calafiori will replace Gabriel. I think it's harsh, but you know what? 1 minute.
Oh, that's so wild.
I haven't pressed the bell yet. You don't come in until I press the bell and said I'm finished. Let me press the bell. I know you're getting excited. I know I revved you up. I know this help. I know you love it when I rev you up. It gets you juicy.
Big pause. What the hell?
But pause. I remember this is the Arteta that I've been watching for a long few years. How no one was happy with his decision to replace Aaron Ramsey-Raya, but the Arteta who has this sort of everyone be good on the ball, everyone build attacks from every part of the pitch, right at the play. Again, you're looking at Benjamin White. Benjamin White had a fantastic, 2 years as our right back. But the Arteta that I'm looking at wants a bit more. That's why I've identified Timber to replace him. And the same thing is, you may not like what I'm going to say, and I respect that. I've got a great respect for all of you. But just think about your manager and on the ball, how he demands players to be good on the ball. That's why, from a footballing point of view, that's why I do think that, unfortunately, the great things that Gabriel does isn't going to matter to his manager, that he is going to look to replace him. I do see that. And I saw something yesterday when he was on the ball trying to build an attack, and I thought he didn't know what to do with it. And that's just a slight criticism. It's not major now, but it will become major moving forward.
That's interesting, man. Listen, before I bring Alex in, Gal, go on, bro. I know you're itching to say something. Come on.
There's no way Mikel Arteta is breaking up Arteta. Arteta is not breaking up William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's not going to happen. By the way, I think Gabriel Magalhaes, at this point, we are looking at his flaws. Why don't we look at his strengths? The man is literally John Terry 2.0 when it comes to set pieces. The guy literally will score the amount of set pieces he scores. He's going to get double digits this season if he keeps it up at this pace. That's how valuable he is on the offensive end, let alone the defensive end, where he's the guy who's sweeping up all the work. He's doing all the hard work. William Saliba is making football look easy. Gabriel Magalhaes is the aggressive one. And I think if you have Calafiori at left back, you're still doing a lot of the work. But also, at the same time, you guys are criticizing Calafiori's defensive abilities, but you want him as the main left-sided centre back. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, no. I mentioned Gabriel's strengths. I said that I love the fact what he does in both boxes. I like the fact he wins his duels. But what I said is on the ball. That's just as important. You think about the players who've been sacrificed by this manager because they're not good on the ball. Look what happened to Aaron Ramsdale. That's a very important thing on the ball. And if you look at the Pep side of Mick, if you look at Pep's teams, everyone has to be good on the ball, including the centre halves. Now, I'm not saying that Gabriel is a bad player. He's a fantastic player. But moving forward, if this guy continues to be our manager, it will be an issue. Know your manager. It's your man, not my man. I want him gone. He's your man. You should be able
One second. You in 2024, you still want Arteta gone.
Let me finish. He's your manager. You should be able to read him better than me.
Kenny, he's your manager too.
He's your manager.
He's your manager too.
He's
your manager too. Ken, he's yours. Everyone here.
Arteta better than you. That shouldn't be the way. You should be educating me about the manager, not me.
Ken,
you.
Ken, He's all of our managers. We're all Arsenal fans. Arteta's the Arsenal manager.
Yeah,
And by the way,
Ricky, I love him. I'm just worried about how our manager goes on when he finds a slight flaw in a player and then he gets adventurous. We've seen it so many times.
why are you creating something out of nothing?
I'm not creating something out of nothing because I know this. Because at the end of the day, why would he buy Calafiori?
Because he's going to play him at left back.
He's not buying him
He's
he's not a left back though. He's not.
He is a left back.
You thought Timber was left back 2 weeks ago. You thought Timber was a left back.
Timber is a jack of all trades. Call him James.
No, you thought Timber was a left back a few weeks ago. So
One second.
So
I never put Timber in a box. I'm not putting Calafiori in a box either. We have
you said he's a left back.
One second. We have a versatile team, Kenny. I agree with you on one hand, where if Gabriel, anything ever happened to him, we have so many options. We could well and truly see Calafiori in there at some point. But I don't think Arteta is going to change or rock the boat right now. Simply put,
maybe
on
not.
the ball, off the ball, whatever you want to say, I think the yin and yang with William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes is so wonderful right now. It's probably one of the best partnerships in Europe. And you don't want to break it up.
For now. But just keep your eye on it. All I'm asking you to do is be out of mind and keep your eye on it. I'm not criticizing.
The only way that happens is if someone offers us.
I'm just looking moving forward, and I'm just when I go to matches, when I'm looking at looking at certain things, I'm looking at the manager himself. Because the other day, for instance, I noticed something yesterday when Saka lost the ball in the second half, and they went and attacked. The manager was like punching the air with frustration. He was basically going the bar on as if it was Anthony Joshua's punch. He went mad. So this is what I see. I'm not saying I'm betting you because I've got a game, because I know you go for you as well. All I'm saying is that when you look at certain things, you've got to analyse everything. You've got to analyse the strengths and the weaknesses. And I do think that I am worried that this manager will get adventurous with Gabriel because of the situation, because he demands on the ball. We've seen it with other players.
Well, what about the fact? What about the fact that we don't get bullied? We are the big boys on campus. Every game that we go into, the physicality that we bring, the way that we bully teams, the way that strikers don't come to us anymore and think they can body our centre backs. William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, brushing them off. I personally think Calafiori
for the whole team, though. It's not just Gabriel and Saliba; it's for the whole team.
Ken, I don't disagree with you. Calafiori well and truly could end up becoming a left centre back at some point in this team, but I don't think at this moment in time, as we still have Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba, I think they're going to be the centre back partnership for the foreseeable future until one of them end up leaving or getting injured.
Well, listen,
keep your eye on that.
It's a great debate, man.
Watch the manager. Just watch him. Keep your beady eye on him because he's getting adventurous. He's adventurous. Watch it.
And you know what? You know what that adventure could be? That adventure could be something else that you don't like. It could be something else. It could be Kai Havertz staying up top and forgetting about a striker next summer again. You never know.
Could be.
I'm going to break this little debate up for now with a couple of things. I'm going to bring Alex in. Big up to all 400 of you that are still here. And big up to Carefree Lewis, man. Lewis, you're a legend. Congratulations on 50K, my bro. Well deserved. And thank you so much for sending people here, man. I really appreciate that, bro. Absolute legend for that. Also, massive thanks to Oregon Goon as well. 5 12-man membership sent. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, bro. That's absolutely amazing of you. So thank you so much. Guys, we're literally only around about 70 away from 25K. Let's get that tonight, people. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. It's absolutely free. And then we can get up to 25K as a community tonight. So big up to every single one of you, man. Alex, I wanted to bring this question up to you because actually I thought Trossard was class last night. And I think it's gone under the radar about how much Ødegaard has not been missed. Do you think Ødegaard is missed? He can be great against small opposition, but he goes missing in big games. Igal mentioned the fact that a lot of people were saying about Ødegaard now and how it's going to be a nightmare and disaster. But Trossard has come in and been fantastic, man. I've got to say. What are you saying, Alex?
Mate, before the last game, I was like well in for Wineri to start. I thought he's the one player that we had like an impetus and a drive forward. Like his first action against Leicester, pick up the ball, drive, shoot. And we missed that for quite some time. But I've got to say, how do you drop Trossard right now? Like, genuinely, how do you drop him? Because he's one of our few kind of moments players. He is. I said it in the summer when we talked. Oh, anyone get feedback then?
Yeah, I was just a text message. I think that was all. Go on, Alex.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like he's one of the only players that got, he's got the minerals to step up, and he always steps up at the right time. So for me, right now, Trossard's got to stay in the team. He's earned that at the end of the day. He's a bit of an odd one because I think moving forward, like Gal and Kenny are talking about Calafiori and where he lies. Like for me, I'm kind of with both of them because I see it's so hard. How do you drop one of the best centre-back pairing in the league, if not Europe? But at the same time, if you look at where does everyone think Rice is going to play? He's going to move to the 6. Everyone agree with that?
I think so, yeah.
Instead of Partey. So when that happens, we're going to lack, in our first phase of build-up, we're going to lack that passing range. So I think Kenny's kind of right. I think Calafiori would quite often step into that zone. And then it kind of throws up a lot of other things. So like for me, that left wing spot, Martinelli's been growing recently. He's been doing better. He's still not finishing his chances, but at least he's getting in the right positions now. So like, does Trossard then come back out onto the left? I don't know, because it's so difficult. Knowing Arteta, Odegaard straight back in. Like, as simple as that. I don't think you keep your captain out of the team. I don't think you keep your lead presser out of your team. And I think it would, I don't think it would send a good message to everyone. Like, but at the same time, I like Trossard's got it, but he's got to be in that lineup now. Like, he is one of these players. Him and Kai essentially are turning up right now. I think Saka under the radar is, I guess you'd say. Like, what was he doing the other day? It was at 8 plus chances, 8 take-ons in a single Premier League game. And I think that's the first time this decade. So, like, this is a guy that in Saka, even when we think he's not playing well, like, he's effective. He really is. So, I don't know. I guess Trossard stays in for now, and then as soon as Odegaard comes back, he just slots back in, and we just play with Rice back in the 6, and then I guess Marino will eventually go in the 8. But
yeah, man, listen, Marino come on, and I think that's a good substitution to look at now is Partey for Marino and Rice dropping back in the 6. And then we see what happens when Odegaard comes back in. We all know he's going to start. And then what happens with Trossard, because, he's been phenomenal for us. But Northside, let me come to you on this question, man, because there's a lot of people speaking about our strength in depth. You and I have been one to be very vocal about the fact that we still didn't do enough in the summer transfer window. At the moment, look, we can cover every position. Don't get me wrong. But is it adequate cover? And are we going to come unstuck? And that's what I want to look at moving forward, because at the moment, things are really looking good. Really rosy. I'm happy. We've gone unscathed across. Let's be real, a real tough start of fixtures to Arsenal's season. Do you have faith that actually this squad is stronger than perhaps me and you thought it was? Or do you still have your worries, bro?
No. It's still not strong enough. It's still not strong enough. We definitely have options defensively. But like we said, we're yet to see how Timber's going to perform for the whole season. Like I said, he had a good game against PSG, but we haven't seen a whole season of him. So I haven't written him off, but I'm not over-gassing him. Calafiori, I'm still giving him to the end of the season. I'm just not happy with certain things. But we do have options defensively. We're definitely a lot stronger with our defensive options. I don't think that was the main issue. We still need to see how this, what the options are. We still need to see. Actually, we don't even need to see anything. Like, Sterling isn't a good backup to Saka. Havertz and Jesus, nobody's saying we should keep Jesus. If anything, I've seen people saying that we need to get rid of Jesus, which we said before, this guy cannot be the main striker, and this guy is limited. He's not what the fan base gassed him up to be. But now they got their new toy in Kai Havertz, so they're going to forget what they were gassing up Jesus to be. So we don't have great rotation for the striker option. Of course, you can play Trossard there, but we're always moving players around. When you look at our attack, one injury, and we were moving everyone around because we don't have the rotation in the attacking areas. Trossard he's doing really well, man. That guy is so disrespected by this fan base. It's crazy. Like, he's mad disrespected. Let's keep it real. Like, we've asked him before to play as a striker. We've asked him to play as a number 10. We've asked him to play as a bit player. on the wing, and people still talk about him like, oh, he's a bench player. He's a very, very good player, man. He's a very, very good player. But the problem is we don't have a number 10 that's going to turn up in the crunch end of the season. Nathan Awari, I think, listen, Ethan, I think he's a talented player, but come on, man. It's way too much to put it on his shoulders and ask him to get us over the line crunch end of the season. Like I said, it just when you look at that attack, it's not great. We're going really and truly with the same that we had last season. That wasn't good enough to get over the line last 2 seasons. So yeah, the team is still weak. The team is still weak, and people saying that, oh, look at how we started. Yeah, but the last 3 seasons we started the season well. This is not where Arsenal crumble. It's the latter end of the season. That is when we start crumbling with the pressure, with injuries, with fatigue, etc. You know, we haven't gone out there and got the world-class quality. We haven't gone out there and got the proper striker. And it was a knee-jerk reaction to get Sterling. And if people want to not learn from the past, that's up to them. End of the season, we'll review this all again. You know, so I admit that we, defensively, we're very good as a team. I think we've got a very good starting 11, but this bench ain't fixed. Don't be fooled because this bench ain't fixed, But if people want to be happy now, I know that's how this fan base are. They're happy now. And the lack of hindsight is what always catches up to us. You know what I mean? And really analyzing the club away and not putting your emotions in there and looking at it objectively that this bench isn't that great. It's not. And if
can I have Arsenal side?
I want
who would you get in January transfer window? If you could get anyone you wanted, like, who would you be happy with? Genuinely, like
Gyökeres came out. I'm a Benfica fan as well. It's my family team. Gyökeres came out and said that he basically he was saying it in a respectful way. Basically, Sporting Lisbon have put a price tag. I've got a release clause, but I'm happy to stay here. But I do want to play in Europe's elite leagues. So that's basically saying I'm not going to rattle the Sporting fans, but you pay the money. I'm down to go.
I'm gone.
But does it make sense? Because sometimes you need, in order to bring in a striker, north side, you can't just bring them in and have them play right away. Sometimes it takes them a while to get up to scratch. Even Erling Haaland last year for City, it took them a while to get up to scratch. If you add a striker into a team halfway through the season, like if the team is terrible like Aubameyang, he's gonna get used to it like a duck to water. But a team like ours, you need to be bedded in. You can't just come into this team and expect to hit the ground running. We're going to have to slightly change how we play. And why do that when Kai Havertz is in such great form? Like right now, Arsenal history and home games since the Emirates era, Kai Havertz is 1 goal away from tying Van Persie for the most consecutive games where a striker has scored goals.
And that's why we need to get a striker at the start of the season, which is an issue from Edu. If the striker needs time to bed in, we should have got the striker in early instead of making the excuse that the Euros is on and the Copa America is on, which is a load of BS because we didn't go out there and get a striker anyway. We should have got the striker in early, given him a proper preseason, and then he would have got what you got. He would have got what you're asking that the striker should get. I don't necessarily disagree with you. The striker may need some time, but who's left us in this position? We all knew it was
you're overcritical.
We needed to strengthen, and we can't start making up excuses about, oh, maybe we don't need it. We do need it. We all know that we need a striker. We need a proper goal scorer that can take the burden off of Saka. Yes, we got Sterling to take off the burden. Sterling isn't the levels. Let's just keep it real. He isn't the levels.
Why are you mentioning Sterling?
At the end of the day, At the end of the day, Gal, when it comes to the crunch end, we're talking about the crunch end of last season. When we get back into these positions, in the Cups, in the Champions League, up against Aston Villa, or games that we're still in the title race and we need goals, we need killers, bro. We need world-class players. We need players that have that magic outside of the system when it comes to the crunch end of the season. I don't want to keep repeating the past. We've had this before. Havertz is playing well now. I'm not giving. I told you he was man of the match against PSG. I'm not taking that away from him. But is Havertz going to perform like this when we need to get over the line to win a major honor? I don't believe so.
What makes you say that the players that we currently have in our team won't be able to improve and show later on in the season that they can continue to do what they're doing right now? Also, when we speak about our attack being the problem, our attack being the issue, needing a striker, needing this, needing that. Yes, to a certain degree, you're right, but that's not our strength. Why do we keep talking about our weakness when our strength is our defense? Our strength is how we control games. Our strength is set pieces. We're the goddamn best team in friggin' Premier League history at set pieces. I think we're the best team in Europe at set pieces and probably of all time. The way that we're playing set pieces right now, that is an equalizer. That right there is a 20-goal a season striker. Forget about the striker.
Sorry,
One second. Yeah, Jakob, what's his name? What's the set piece coach's name?
Jova.
The set piece coach.
Nicholas Jova.
Nicholas Jova is the equivalent to Erling Haaland for Arsenal. He is the equalizer. You guys are laughing. I'm dead serious.
No one's laughing.
I'm dead serious. You want a 20-goal a season striker?
I mean, he is quality.
Northside, you want a 20-goal a season striker? We got a 20-goal a season coach who's getting us a way to neutralize our opponents. Our opponents' strengths are, guess what? Attacking. You don't try to beat your opponent with their own strength. You beat them with their weakness. And what is their weakness? Their weakness is they're defending. What is their weakness? They have some shorter players in their squad, and we can utilize that to our advantage. If we're going to go toe-to-toe against City, if we're going to go toe-to-toe against some of these teams across Europe, you don't beat them at their own game. You beat them at your game. You bring them to your level, and you make them play you how you want to play. And that's what
one minute. Again, 1 minute. Everything you said is completely valid. But the situation is, this is like an Arsenal roundabout, and yesterday's game was the Champions League. Moving it forward, can Arsenal win the Champions League with that front three? Because you'll talk about our strengths and attribute. Is it enough to be, like compact, excellent off the ball, great at set pieces? But
yes.
With that front, it's that front three. I don't think that. You have to, because the other day, I think if you were asking me right now, can Arsenal win the Champions League? Yes, because they're in it. Yes, because they're probably going to be one of the top, going to get in the last 16. But if you ask me to put my money on it, I would say no, because I still think that as much as our attributes are going to get us into the conversation, I still think that our front three, the weight at the moment, isn't as great, because simple reasons that Havertz, yeah, he's playing well. He would do us a job. Would he get us 25 goals or 30 goals a season? I hope so, but I'm not sure. I still think obviously Saka, Saka's been brilliant for us. Is he consistent? Does he go a long time without scoring goals? Yes, he does. That left-hand side for me is an issue. So for me, everything you say is valid, but if you're asking me for my opinion, I still think it's going to be short to winning this competition. And I do think
third world problems, guys. Cry me a river. Why are we talking about?
It's going to be the front three. That'll be the only weakness will stop us winning it.
I'm sorry. We sound like millionaires complaining about having our 15th car. Our team is not that bad.
Why not? We're asking for that.
This is elite football.
We're asking
every
for
percent matters.
Our team is not that bad. To complain about the left-hand side, we haven't seen our left-hand side fully fit. Moreno, Calafiori, and Martinelli. We haven't seen that. Number one. Number two, Kenny.
Martinelli's had enough chances.
Let me say one more thing and I'm done. When you say our attack can't win us the Champions League, we've seen a shit Chelsea attack who finished 8th in the league go and win with Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, and Timo Werner. You cannot tell me our attack is not better than Chelsea's attack. You don't need the attack to win. You just need to be better defensively, shut out teams, and go and counter and beat them 1-0. You could win a Champions League winning every single game 1-0.
How many attacks at that level won the Champions League in the last 20 years? How many attacks at that Chelsea caliber level in 21? And let's face it, what won Chelsea that game had as much to do with Pep Guardiola's mismanagement of his team and his poor team selection. That basically helped Chelsea, because as soon as I saw Pep Guardiola's team selection, where he played all his aces in one pack and left players without any pace on the bench, it was only one winner for me. That was Chelsea. Pep Guardiola was just as responsible for Chelsea winning that game as Kai Havertz for scoring that winner. Pep cost them that match.
So you're telling me the best manager in the world cost him that match?
Yes, because he makes mistakes.
Okay.
Good managers make mistakes. Sir Alex made mistakes. Arsene, well, he made quite a few mistakes. George made mistakes. Good managers.
Okay.
Not
But you're
fallible.
basically
Pep Guardiola
trying to
was
belittle my point by saying we
I'm not
can't win
belittling
the
your point. I'm
Champions
just
League.
saying
with
I
this.
don't agree with what you said.
No.
That's
But
what
one
I said.
second. My whole argument was they won the Champions League off their defense. Why can't we do that?
Okay,
Not-
did they not have world-class players? Hold on, Agal. This is the difference between us and them. Do they not have players when it's in the crunch end of the season, they turn up and get them over the line? When they have KDB out,
Kai Havertz.
up. Yeah, Kai Havertz saying world-class.
Kai Havertz won them the Champions League.
Okay, cool. What are you talking about?
He
City?
turned up, right?
Are you talking about City?
No. You're talking about Chelsea. No,
Oh,
I
was talking
thought
about
we were
City.
talking about
I was talking
Chelsea.
City. No, I was talking about City.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about City. We just played them. Right now. We just seen us go up against them, right? I think we relatively neutralized them, and we've seen outside of Erling Haaland, the rest of their attack was not up to scratch. They have one of the best attacks in the world. They could not break us down, brother. My point is,
decided though, Egal. It doesn't matter.
No.
Let's be real,
No,
yeah.
I'm not
Regardless
talking
of the
about title
result, that's
decider.
not been the title
I'm
decider.
not
We
talking
beat
about
them
title
before they
decider.
still went on to win the league. Yeah, but that's the ultimate point, though. Egal.
Wait. The season's not over.
It's
We're
about
in
winning
October.
the league, though.
When did they win the league?
The ultimate point is about City winning the league, though.
No. But is the season over? Why are you already speaking like the season's over?
The season's over because
we're in a new year.
You know why the season's over? The season's over because we're not prepared. The season's over is because you're talking about our defense.
You're throwing in the towel.
Let me. Yeah, I am. You know why? Because this club ain't done enough. Enough. I've always told you. Me and you've had multiple conversations ago. Have I not asked for a striker? Have I not asked for the bench to be fixed? Yeah, and that doesn't just mean defensive options.
Pep has no cover for
Let
rugby.
me land my point. Let me land my point because I do have to go.
I'm sorry.
Let me land my point. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've asked you, we've spoken multiple times. I said I want a striker. I said I want my bench fixed. I told you that I want world-class players that are going to actually deliver outside of the system when the system is nullified. Yeah? I told you I want a plan B. When you're telling me about set pieces, we were scoring set pieces last season. It wasn't good enough for us to get over the line. When you're telling me, oh, these players will improve, you told me that Zinchenko would improve. You told me Jesus would improve. You told me all these players would improve. They've not improved. Martinelli is regressing. So there's no guarantee that these players are going to continue improving because some of them are falling off that he's bought. He's even bought players that are not even progressing under him. Fabi Vieira, Lakonga. So there's no guarantee. Don't go on like Ethan's going to get bare game time because he hasn't broken anyone through the way Unai Emery broke through Saka as an example. He's not breaking through youngsters. A lot of them are getting loaned out to other clubs. So there's no guarantee. Man said we're going to unlock Jesus. The guy is declining. We have not addressed what we need to address. Yeah, telling me that we've got the best defense, we've done that in the last 2 title races, hasn't got us over the line. Telling me we're going to score from set pieces, we've done it in the last 2 years, hasn't got us over the line. Telling me we're going to spread the goals around, we've done it before, ain't going to get us over the line. And we've already seen Brighton, we drew, Atlanta, we drew. Yeah, and these are the games where you need those different makers, the world-class players, the world-class striker to get you over the line. And it reminds me, the Aston Villa game that we lost last season, when we were still in a title race, we had chances that game. Guess what? We didn't have a killer. Guess what we didn't have? Guess what we didn't have in the cups? A killer. So we got eliminated by Liverpool, West Ham. Do you know what I mean? And this problem keeps repeating itself. You can try and work around the problem, and this is the problem. We never addressed the problem. We tried to make do with the problem. Oh, we're not going to get a striker. We will spread the goals around, but that doesn't always work. Yeah, and you can have a great defense, but a great defense can lead you to a draw. Too many draws against Man City, you lose the league. We lost the league off fine margins. You have to improve off of that. Yeah, you have to improve off of that. You can tell me that the defense is great. We had defenders scoring. You're not going to have your defenders scoring week in, week out in all competitions to get you through. And this is why we struggle.
One second. We've seen that in the history of football. Chelsea did it twice, where John Terry scored double-digit goals to help them win league titles. So there's a precedent for this.
And they didn't have world-class players.
Don't act like it's not possible. By the way, Gabriel Magalhaes is up there with John Terry when it comes to scoring goals from set pieces. And defensively, maybe not, but he's up there when it comes to scoring set pieces. Number 2, when it comes to what you said about Plan B, bro, we're doing Plan B right now. Do you not see what we're doing with Leandro Trossard? Martin Odegaard is out. You said we have no cover for Martin Odegaard. Well, it looks like Mikel Arteta has found a solution. We destroyed the last 3 teams that we played at home. We drew against Man City, and we
Playing an out of form Martinelli.
we beat Tottenham in the North London derby without Martin Odegaard. Also,
Can I ask you a question just quickly, Igal? Just quickly, because I know Northside's got to go, so I wanted to get you both in on this talk before he goes. And big up to you, Northside, for coming on. But for me, last 2 seasons, I'd be with Northside. I think we are the reason we didn't win the league. Not Man City were too good. I think we were the reason. Do you feel like we have learned and that we can go at home and not get results like Aston Villa, results like Fulham, results like West Ham? Do you feel the squad has got to this next level now where actually, no, we can actually iron out those results, get wins instead of draws and losses, and do what it takes to get across the line, with the fact that Rodri and KDB are missing potentially quite a lot of the season? I'll ask you both that before you go, Igal and Northside, man.
I think the mentality of this Arsenal team has completely changed, and it showed when we went 1-0 down versus Man City. We have the belief that we can beat any single team we play in Europe, and I do believe that will show throughout the calendar year. Last season, at times, maybe players had their heads down, they didn't believe, or fatigue was trying to get in. But now we have adequate rotation defensively. We've shown that we can rotate in the midfield, and we'll have to see if the attack can get back to going. But it's still early in the season, and I think you guys are counting your chickens before they hatch.
And I think you're doing exactly what you did last season, getting way too excited and not seeing that there's big issues in this team. And this is why at the end of every season, I'm right. Because I can see the problems here and they haven't been addressed. Not because I want to be right. I want Arsenal to win the league. I want Arsenal to win the league. This is a club that I love, but I fell out of love because we've been doing this for the last 20 years. We didn't address going in the market and getting quality against Leicester. We didn't win it. We didn't go out there and build on Van Persie, Nasri, Fabregas, and then we lost them. We have a history of the last 20 years of doing this. And this is why no one's gonna try and gaslight me or tell me, oh no, you're being too harsh. No, we've continued to make the same mistakes, and our mistakes is we don't go out there, and every time we're this close to being good and being a really good team that can get over the line, we do the bare minimum. We have a history of this, and at the end of the day, you can bring me up all these things that we're going to do, but we've been doing that and it's not good enough. There comes a point where you need to go get the final piece. You need to go and get those world-class players to make the difference. Liverpool didn't just continue to buy these players that weren't doing good. They went out there and they added Firmino, they added Mane, they added Salah, they added all these players to get them over the line. And they didn't just keep going through players all the time. And for me, I'm sorry, Gal, yeah, you're talking about Chelsea.
Liverpool didn't sign anybody before.
I just want to say one thing. I gotta go. I actually gotta go. Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. Your point on Chelsea is disingenuous, yeah, because you're talking about John Terry, double digits. They had Drogba, Costa, Ballack, Hazard. They had all these players, bro, scoring goals as well, bro. You know what I mean? They had world-class players, genuine world-class players, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't have genuine world-class players.
Excuse me? We don't have world-class players? William Saliba gets into every single team in the world right now.
That's one
world-class player for you right there. Bukayo Saka easily,
not world-class.
Bukayo Saka easily is up there with some of the best in the world at that right-wing position. Besides Mo Salah and Lamine Yamal, who is on his level in that right-wing position?
Not world-class.
Not many. Also, he might not be world class, but Raya this season has started off the season.
What was the argument about?
You can't lie.
We got one world class player,
bro. One second. I'm not saying all of them are world class, but Raya has been putting on world class performances for us this season, and I think Northside, you might not be happy with the win versus Aston Villa. You might not be happy with the performance versus Atlanta, the how we won the game versus Tottenham away, the Brighton performance. But you need to remember, we're just getting started. We haven't even clicked into full gear. Odegaard's been injured. Mikel Moreno hasn't even kicked the ball to start a game for us. I mean, hasn't even started a game for us yet. And you're seeing all the issues. I'm seeing the potential still to improve in this team, just without even any signings. And I think you need to maybe look at the optimistic side on it a little bit more than just thinking about the pessimistic side always.
All right, cool. Listen, Northside, I know you got to bounce, bro. But absolute love for coming on. Anything you want to say at all before you go, man?
He's smiling. I love it.
No, do you know what, Gal? We will talk again at the end of the season, bro. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk again. I don't know how many times we have to keep talking and do the.
Okay, so then why do we do this, bro? We
Do you
do
know
this
what, yeah?
because we want to talk about what's happening now.
I know, but you can't just get like boxed in what's happening now, bro. You have to look at the overall picture and why you failed. To improve in life, you have to work on your weaknesses.
And you have to look at how you
Yeah.
can improve within. You don't
But we
always have to
haven't-
look about
Yeah, but you don't
external
always have the
improvement.
answers within. This is why we have transfer windows. Why do you have transfer windows?
No,
for?
but this is why people have
This is
self-improvement.
your
You know this, bro. People
Come on.
self-improve all the time. You yourself, in your own job or your own field of expertise, you
How
always
was the
self-improve.
self-improvement for Zinchenko? How's the
Forget about
self-improvement?
Zinchenko.
How's the self-improvement for Kivio? Looks like we're getting rid of him. How's the self-improvement for Reece Nelson? How was the
You want to know
self-improvement?
how? You bring in Timber. You bring in
No,
Calafiori.
because you're acting
And
like
they,
every
and
player.
they're already here.
Because the way you said that is like, oh no, players just can be. Nah, there's certain attributes as a player you either have or you don't. There's certain levels certain players ain't gonna reach. Loads of players have potential.
Guess
Doesn't mean
what?
they're gonna reach that.
You're
potential.
you're mentioning our third choice left back. You're mentioning guys like who's the other guy you mentioned? Kivior and who else? Zinchenko. Third choice left back, backup left-sided center back. Like, brother, you're talking about bench players, and I'm talking about the quality of the squad overall. One guy goes out, another man goes in, and we find solutions. I trust the manager. Unfortunately, you don't, and that's the difference between me and you at this moment.
Because we found solutions for all the 4 competitions we were in last season, didn't we? We found
no,
solutions.
but stop going back to historical fallacies. Just because it didn't work last season doesn't mean it's not going to work this season. Yeah,
we got the same
you're
team.
You're basing. One second. Based on what you're saying, we should have dropped points to PSG because PSG historically have been a better team than us in the Champions League for the last 5 years. But that's not how football works. Right now, we're a much better team than a lot of the teams we're facing. I expect us to smash Southampton this weekend, and also I expect us to have a similar performance when we're at home versus majority of the teams lower down the table. Against the teams in Europe, we might see slightly different situations versus Inter. Don't lose your shit if we drop points against Inter in the Champions League. But outside of that, I don't see any tough games until we face Liverpool.
Why not? You said we're the 5th best in Europe, so we shouldn't be losing to Inter.
I said Inter's up there. Inter's up there. Inter's one of the top teams in Europe also. You got to respect
we spend more money. We got Super Mick. We got a team that's evolving. Like you said, we should be.
There you go. Let's go. Positivity. I love it.
Huh? Yeah. So there's no excuse if we don't win against Inter.
Hey, there's no excuse if you don't win the league, bro.
You know what? Yeah. I just like the guy when we're talking about Drake versus Kendrick. When we talk football, bro, you stress me out. I can't lie.
But bro, you know Drake is clear. He's not fucking with any of those guys anymore.
Look at this guy, man. Listen, big up to the whole pack. Big up to Kenny. Big up to Fodder as well. Big up to Egal. Big up Dan Potts. Egal, end of the season.
I will catch you. I will catch you on stream. Don't worry.
End of the season, I'm telling you right now.
Don't worry, bro. We'll see each other.
On your neck, bro.
We'll see each other next week. Don't worry. We'll see each other there.
Love Northside,
man.
man. Big up, man. Big up, man. Make sure you go follow Northside LDN, man, if you're not already. Big up. Wow, I didn't think that was going to win. Let me bring Alex and Kenny in before we come to a close on the last section. Alex, I've got to say, going into this Southampton game last night against PSG, I really liked the way we played. I thought Timber was outstanding. Partey was superb. Gabriel, Saliba, immense. Yeah, okay, Calafiori I didn't think was outstanding, but I didn't think he was quite as bad as how Northside thought he was defensively. I thought Trossard and Havertz were 2 of the best on the pitch. And I actually thought Saka and Martinelli did all right last night. I mean, I thought Saka was one of the better going forward in terms of the threat. And I thought although Martinelli missed a couple of chances, looking back at it, I don't know that the second one was as easy as I first thought when it was live, but also the volley, if that would have gone in, I mean, that would have been one of the best goals we've scored at the Emirates. So I thought the team played well last night, and it's given me confidence going into Southampton. Would you make many changes going into this weekend, bro?
It's hard because before the game, I was like, yeah, make a load of changes. But have we got a week off after this game? Is that right?
Yeah, internationals, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if we bother making changes, you know, like the club, really what the club should be doing is playing a pretty strong team and then rest of the players and actually pull them from internationals because we never do it. We're like the only team who like sends Saka off every single international, sends Rice off to get flogged. You know, that's what happened with Odegaard. Like a pointless competition, we lose Odegaard. Like we need to stop doing it. So for me, you pretty much go with the same team. Whether or not Timber's all right, it sounds like he's going to be fine because apparently he just felt like a twinge, they said like a muscular injury. So they took him off as precaution. So I think he'll be back. So pretty much like same team, maybe try to get Ethan in, maybe try to get Lewis Skelly in if he can, just for some extra game time. But yeah, like I just right now, if you asked me a couple of weeks ago, I was dreading that run-in of like PSG, City, Tottenham. With what we had, I was worried. But I've got to admit, like Arteta and the boys have done us proud. Let's be honest. Like Atalanta could have gone better, but at the same time, drawing in Italy is not a bad result. You know, a lot of teams we saw Liverpool, we saw Leverkusen lose against them. They're not, they're no pushovers. So at the end of the day, we've done pretty well. I think we go relatively strong. Just get a win, just get a convincing win as well. But anyone else betting on like Ramsdale to pull a blinder and break the record for saves?
Probably, bro. Real talk. I think he's a good goalkeeper. I feel sorry for him, man, because he's gone to another team that he's probably going to relegate.
Football's like football. There's no anything, mate. He's had, if you ask Darren Ramsdale 5 years.
No. What I mean is, I feel sorry that he's gone to a club that's probably going to get relegated, like the other ones he's been to. Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but I think the thing with Aaron is that Aaron needs to play first in football in order to push, Pickford for that England place. He has to, because at the end of the day,
he's not getting the England place, bro.
Maybe not, but he's got no chance of getting that England place if he's asked our number 2 and not playing in any big game at all. So at least he's giving himself half a chance. But I think one thing is guaranteed. I think you're going to need your medication. You're going to need some water because you'll be dehydrated, because you're going to feel pretty sick, because there's going to be an Aaron Ramsdale love fest, which is going to be full of revision about what a great
after he conceded the 5th goal.
Well, yeah, I think it'll be before that, Gabriel, but it'll be an absolute love fest. People, you'll be glad to see his dad. In fact, if I see his dad, I'll say to his dad, mate, I'm Ebo. So if you want one of those Ebo chief hats, the red one, I can get you to replace that hat with instead of the Alsa hat you wear. But moving forward, I agree a lot with what Alex said. When I looked at the first 10 games of the season, I demanded like 26 points, and it looks like I'm going to get them. So I can't complain. In terms of how we've played this season, it hasn't been pretty, but it wasn't pretty when by this time last season, but we were getting the wins. We do tend to grind results out in certain games, but I do think the Leicester game was a mess, but it was a good mess because we created a lot of chances and we just fluffed their lines, and their keeper had kind of a worldie. But Southampton are going to play into their hands, because one thing when you watch Southampton this season, 2 things. Up front, they have no ruthlessness whatsoever. You're not ruthless at that level, teams will punish you. And for some reason, they're playing out the back. Russell Martin it's like, I'm not criticising it, because I do like teams to play at the back. But when you're Southampton, you just come up. The first thing you need to do is make yourselves difficult to beat. Make sacrifices. Keep a few clean sheets, play a bit of boring football, and then earn your right to play your football. They're not earning their right to play football. Hence the fact they're going to come to us, have some good opportunities. Because I think the Emirates, teams tend to play better against us at the Emirates than they do away from home. So the way I look at it is that, they are going to get some joy. They're not going to take chances, and then we're going to get chances, and we're going to be ruthless. But what we need to do is, when they try to play at the back, getting at them, because they're no good at it. Aaron Ramsdale playing at the back, that's got to be like watching a scene out of Benny Hill, him playing at the back, and that's just his kicking. I haven't even talked about his goalkeeping. That's even funnier. So this is a good opportunity, if we're talking about goal difference, to cash in. But as I said before, be measures like we've been with before. Play with our brains, opportunities, be ruthless, and we should do it. And and then we're going into national break, and then after the national break, Bournemouth. Then I think we've got Shakhtar Donetsk, and it's Liverpool.
That's what I mean. It's going to be difficult after that one.
Preston, we're going to play a scratch side, but a side that's good enough to get us into the next round. And then Newcastle away, that's one of those games where no one wants to play Newcastle. They're Newcastle, one of those teams on their day. Doesn't matter how well you play, what form you're in. when they're really at it, they're difficult to beat and they tend to win games. So we've got to be really, really careful. And that's where.
And you know the ref is for that one, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, who's the ref?
Michael Oliver.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
bloody,
Newcastle fan.
Well, thing is, right, when we talk about referees, I think Arsenal fans need to get rid of the programme. I agree with everything they say. Referees are going to give us nothing. So don't give a referee an opportunity. Big game against Newcastle. Don't give the referee an opportunity to make a decision that doesn't go in our favour because they're right to do it.
Forget about Newcastle.
I completely agree with you, but he's photographed in Newcastle shirts. Like he is a Newcastle fan. Used to have a season ticket. Like, how is he allowed to ref? Like, it's
Alex,
mental.
I think what's happened is that back in the day, it was basically like an unwritten rule that a Mancunian couldn't referee Man United and Man City. A Scouser couldn't referee Liverpool and Everton, and a Geordie couldn't referee any of the teams in the North East. Now it doesn't matter now. Anthony Taylor referees games involving Man City and Man United, and so does Chris Kavanagh. And then you've got Mark Oliver, who's a big Newcastle fan. So it's like cricket before we had neutral umpires. Remember before we had neutral umpires, we had home umpires. I mean, what's going on? This is football, not cricket. This isn't. This is not the gentleman's game. This is win at all costs, kill someone to get a point. So I agree with you. I think his appointment is worse than bizarre. But you know what? We now know we're going to get sweet FA. So don't kick the ball away, Trossard. Don't kick the ball away, Declan English. Don't be a
I've got to admit.
You guys are thinking too far ahead. We got an international break. That game is so
Yeah, true.
Just focus on Southampton. Another set piece.
I have. We're going to win 7-0 at Gal. We're going to win 7-0.
I want an Arsenal record. What's our home record?
Our home record. Is it 7? It's 7-0.
Yeah, it is 7.
We beat Chelsea last year 6-0, right?
No, 5-0.
Yeah, record 7 against Middlesbrough at Highbury and 7 against Everton at Highbury.
In 2006, Middlesbrough.
No, but at the Emirates, what's the record? 6?
6 against.
No, how much did we beat Blackburn? We beat Blackburn 7-2. Blackburn.
7
in 2011.
So, I don't remember winning 7-0.
Manchester United.
22, we beat Blackburn 7-2.
If Manchester United under Oli can score 9 goals, why can't we?
Because we ain't got a striker.
And it's so hard because you score 4 goals, team switch off. Like, I can't see Arteta going like, keep going. He'll shut up shop, you know. If we're 4-0 up,
I remember we beat Everton 7-0 at Highbury and Middlesbrough 7-0 at Highbury, but at the Emirates, I think it's 6-0. That's against Blackpool, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's fair. Walker got a hat-trick.
Walker got a hat-trick. Yeah,
I'm sure we
was that 7-1 or 6-0?
I think we scored 7 against the Sam Allardyce Blackburn. I'm sure we did.
By the way, guys, this team lost to Manchester United 3-0. This team drew against Ipswich. This is a team that plays out the back from their own defense and has probably one of the worst set piece defenses in the league, going up against an Arsenal team that they can barely score goals. They didn't score in their first 3 game weeks. Then they scored 1 goal versus Brentford. They lost to Manchester United. They scored 1 goal versus Ipswich, and their third goal of the season was just the last game where they lost 3-0 away at Bournemouth. They're coming to the Arsenal, losing every single game so far this season or drawing. And I don't think they're going to have any joy. This could get ugly. And if you guys are going to the game, I would expect us to have the game wrapped up by halftime.
I hope so. That's what I'm praying.
Yeah, I suppose so. But the thing is, when we have games wrapped at half time, that's when, that's when I think that, I think I want 7-0, but I'm realistically, I'm going to go for. I think it's going to be 3-0 because I'm surely Southampton are going to be that avaricious, wasteful.
This manager's going to get sacked. He's terrible.
Yeah, of course he's going to get sacked because you know what I mean. But I think if Ten Hag can keep his job, this one can.
He lost to Ten Hag 3-0 at home.
Yeah, I know, but that's after they missed a penalty. That's when they dominated the first half, missed a penalty, but Man United just scored a couple of goals and took the game away from them when Man United were beaten.
Hey, also, we know Ramsdale's weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we've got to be easily winning this game. Just to
Bad news
confirm, we
feet.
beat Slavia Prague 7-0 and we beat Blackburn 7-1, Kenny. You were right. So
Yeah.
that was the highest win at the Emirates. So let's hope we can try and get one of those. Look, we do need to close because there's football on that everyone wants to watch. I just got to throw some super chats in. Big up to Oregon Goon for the gifts earlier. Big up to you, bro. Mr. Gasp says it's important to note the role Trossard is playing. It's not the same as Erdegaard. In possession, Calafiori is occupying spaces high. Rice is dropping deep. Trossard and Kai are dual strikers, and Kai is drifting right. Trossard left. I actually think that Kai Havertz in this position, I think there could be a lot of strengths that have come with it. And I actually think that one of the reasons why is the best number 9 we've got is because I think everybody around him does play better. That's just my opinion. I think Kai has found his feet at number 9 for sure, man. So big up.
He's a very good target man. That's really important. We tend to underrate it. When you have teams that play football, with the panache I like, sometimes, you forget the hard work that he does for us. So respect to him because, I writ him off. I want him more for him. And, I still want 25 goals and 10 assists. But
also,
assists cannot. You know what? Sorry, Gail, I'm going to upset you here. I think assists are the biggest load of waffle ever. I just want goals.
Okay. Can I ask you guys a question? Dan, Kenny, if you guys can get me tickets to the Shakhtar game, my brother's coming from Canada. I'd love to take him there. Also, Shakhtar, if Atlanta's losing, if Shakhtar are losing 3-0 to Atlanta, what could we do to them?
One game at a time. Hey, Gail, your rule, different opposition, different times. You can't just, your rule is different opposition, different times. So it doesn't mean anything. Your rules.
Well, look, Igal, if I can get you a ticket for Shakhtar, of course I will, my bro. Ian says, not sure who gifted me the membership, but cheers, it was Oregon Gunner. Says, also Atalanta 3-0, actually won 3-0 against Shakhtar, which is crazy. So, what can we do if we do play them? Arsenal X-rated, Aaron, big up yourself, bro. Says, pay the Jokeres release clause, and boom, it's £84 million, around about 100 million euros. Would that be worth it? Well, if it wins us the league, absolutely it will. Ghost Nathan says, I'm convinced NS just hates Arteta. Right. Okay.
That's lazy. That's a bit lazy, mate, to just say that. It's lazy.
Yeah, that is lazy, to be fair.
He openly says it. What do you mean? Northside's my guy, but he admits it.
It's like it's not as simple as that. It's just that you're having a debate about the football match, and the man just comes into it.
Man said on stream, I don't believe in Arteta.
What's that?
Man said on stream, I don't believe in Arteta just an hour ago.
Yeah, but that's still a lazy comment for him because we're having a brilliant debate.
Okay, what about you, Kenny? Are you an Arteta hater?
He's trivialised it. What's that?
What about you? Since he's not
here,
are you an Arteta
hater? For a fact, it's never been personal.
Are you an Arteta hater?
It's not personal. It was never personal with Arsene Wenger. It's never been personal. It's for footballing reasons. I have my own footballing beliefs, and I have my ambitions for the side, and who I think could do better. It's not personal.
Would you consider that hate?
In fact, you've been on shows where I've praised the manager and I've agreed with a lot of decisions, and that shows it's not personal. I agreed with Raya. I've sided. I've made the point about Calafiori's acquisition. I made the point about Timber playing. Unpopular decisions that I've agreed with. So it can't be personal with me. It's just that I prefer another manager. That's all it is. I want him replaced because I don't think he can win the trophies. But some of his decisions I do agree with it. I do endorse and I do foresee. But at the end of the day, I need to see a return. I'm running out of patience. That's all it is. It's not personal.
Hey, people call me an Arteta sexual. I think it's okay that they call other people haters.
Fair enough. That's no problem with that.
No, that is fair enough. Some people like what they see, some people don't. That's why I like this panel, because they all have different opinions and they're not afraid to say it how it is, man. So absolute love for that. Listen, thanks for all the super chats. I really appreciate that. Big up to every single one of you for coming on. It was flowing nicely and I would like to carry on, but I do have to go and watch football. So big up to all of you.
Harry Kane's just missed a sitter that got disallowed.
Has he? Oh, that's why I want to go and watch, man. That's why I want to get off
go
here.
Check out the Netflix series also.
The
Vince McMahon series, amazing.
Oh, really? Okay, we have to do that, man. Listen, big up to Miguel. Make sure you go follow Miguel.
Is he another Muhammad Al Fayed then, Vince McMahon, or another P Diddy? Oh, sorry, I should have said that.
Blimey. Let's skip past that. Big up Gal. Make sure you go follow Gal Talks Football. Make sure you
See
go
what
follow
Gal does when he talks about anything other than football. Stick to your strengths, mate.
Make sure you go follow Gal. Make sure you go follow Forder on Football as well. Make sure you're following Kenny Ken. Elliot, big up to Elliot, man. He's just had a super chat. Listen, my guy. Big up, Elliot. Big up, Dan. Andy Gal. Another great show. Truly enjoyable. Looking forward to chatting with you all again. Yeah, come on, man. We'll get you on here again soon. You're always welcome. You know that. Big up to you and big up to everybody else. Listen, make sure you stay tuned. This is going to send you over to Troops, who's doing a watch along. So please make sure you head over to him. Yeah, man. Troops doing a watch along. So it's always fun to watch him. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Is he going to do that? Is he going to do? Oh yeah, it's not Arsenal playing. I was wondering if he's going to say, "Take your time with it." Oh,
take your time with it. Take your time with it.
Don't you clipped up, guys?
Listen, see you later, people. We're out. Peace.
Gang business.